Can we make sure that our doorway where our flag bearers will come in, on the side where the choir is, can we make sure that it is clear? We need no obstructions in the doorway. Ladies and gentlemen, during our ceremony, the SARPCCO flag ceremony will take place where our respective regional countries will enter. This symbolizes our oath of commitment, whereby all respective national commissioners will accompany their respective countries' flags. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome Angola? Followed by Botswana. followed by Comoros. Democratic Republic of Congo. Followed by Eswatini. Followed by Lesotho. Followed by Madagascar. Thereby followed by Malawi. Followed by Mauritius. Followed by Mozambique. Let us welcome Namibia. Thereafter, Seychelles. Republic of Tanzania. We have our National Commission from Zambia. Followed by Zimbabwe. Entering our SADC flag. Let us welcome Interpol. Followed by our SARPCCO flag. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the commitment of the citizens from our respective countries and the commitment that we are showing to our different and respective countries. Ladies and gentlemen, we expect the arrival of our Minister, Minister Becky Kelly, any moment soon, and I will request you all to rise on his arrival. So can we finalize our ceremony? Over to you, Parade Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll request you to rise for the arrival of the Minister of Eswatini, the Minister of Zimbabwe, and the Minister of Mozambique. Can we all rise? Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor, the Minister of Police, Minister Becky Cele, can we please rise with his entourage? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, just a friendly request. Before we start commencing with our national anthems, I would request everyone to switch off their cell phones or it to be on silent to avoid any disturbance during the playing of the respective national anthems. I would also request that we limit our movement during our national anthems playing, and all media to be stationary when we start preparing for our national anthems. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem for South Africa will now be played by the South African Police Service Band. All members in uniform must salute during the playing of the national anthem, and all guests will be requested to rise and to stand on attention. Can we please rise? Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem for SADC will now be played. All members in uniform are required to salute and all members to remain on attention. Ladies and gentlemen, the Interpol anthem will now be played, and all members in uniform are requested to salute during the anthem, and all members, other members, to remain on attention. Ladies and gentlemen, as you remain standing, we will now observe a minute of silence for all our fallen heroes who died in the line of duty. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great honor now to call upon the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, General Setla Fani Masimola, to do his welcoming remarks.
Program Director, let me take the opportunity to welcome and honor the honorable guest amongst us. We have the Minister of Police in the Republic of South Africa, General B.H. Kele, amongst us. We also have the Minister of Home Affairs, Culture and Heritage in Zimbabwe, Honorable Kazembe Kazembe. Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Swatini, the Minister of Swatini, Honorable Dlamini, the Special Envoy of the Republic of Mozambique, General Fernando Zukana, the Chiefs of Police present here today from the SADC region, the Director of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security, Mr. Josh Cardoso, the Head of Interpol Regional Bureau Harare, Mr. Silo Moerani, the Director of the Criminal Investigation Departments that are present here today from the SADC region, Chairpersons of SARPCCO technical organs, the Deputy National Commissioners from South Africa, the Head of the Hawks, commonly known the DPCI, Lieutenant General Libya, all protocol observed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to extend a warm welcome to everyone present here today. We welcome you and we hope you will enjoy your stay in South Africa. It's unfortunate you came during that time when we are getting into the chilly winter of the year. Allow me also to appreciate your participation as member countries in the SARPCCO programs. And it is indeed an honor for South Africa as a nation and for for the South African Police Service to host you as we prepare to take part in the deliberations in the 27th SARPCCO AGM. Ministers and police chiefs, your representatives have been taking part in this gathering since Monday. And today we are expected to join them as their leadership to discuss the progress made in the preventing and combating transnational crime, which it is a problem within our region. Our primary goal is to ensure that we deliberate, but at the same time, provide guidance to our countries in fighting transnational crime in the region and beyond. We should take note that we do have border arrangements, which unfortunately the criminals do not have those border arrangements. It is through this gathering such as this one, that we will hopefully establish tangible responses in the form of joint operations, training, capacity building interventions. This in a bid to be clamped down on any form of transnational crime raging in the region. We all know that cross-border police has many challenges which require all of us to ensure enhanced regional cooperation if we are to win the war against this crime. Our response to fighting transnational organized crime since the COVID-19 pandemic emerged to demonstrate that it can be achieved when all the 16 SADC countries work together towards the achievement of a common goal. As we prepare to deliberate on issues, let's keep in mind that our immediate task as SARPCCO chiefs is to ensure enhanced regional cooperation amongst ourselves. Effort at this moment must be directed towards ensuring that transnational crimes such as proliferation of firearms, drug trafficking, terrorism, cross-border criminality, smuggling of human beings and vehicles, with all its forms, are dealt with accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking forward also to get guidance from our principals, the ministers that are present here today. We are looking forward for robust, but of course, in the spirit of cooperation. Once again, welcome in South Africa. I hope you enjoy the warmth of the country. Thank you.
Thank you, National Commissioner. I will now call upon the representative of the Interpol Secretary General and Acting Director, of course, Mr. Obadala Abdulaziz.
Thank you, Program Director. I need to apologize ahead of time for both the Secretary General of Interpol, I'm now confusing things, Jahan Stocken, and his representative who was supposed to be here, Director of GORS, Mr. Obadiah. In absentia, as the head of Regional Bureau, I was then obligated to take the representation and give this speech on behalf of the Secretary General of Interpol. The guest of honor, Minister of the Police, General Bheki, Zimbabwe Honorable Minister, Mr. Kasembe, Eswatini, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of Eswatini, Mr. Cleopas Sipho Dlamini, Special Envoy, Mozambique, General Fernando Shukana, Chairperson of SARPCCO, Lieutenant General Sehlahle Fani Masemula, the National Commissioner of South African Police Service, and members of the Troika, Botswana, Namibia, Chief of the Police present, and your delegation, Director of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security, Mr. George Cardoso, and your delegation, Interpol staff, Senior SARPCCO, Senior Officer Police SARPCCO, Mr. Nyandi Gumede, and Secretariat staff, Director of Criminal Investigation Departments, Chairperson of SARPCCO Technical Organs, distinguished guests, delegates, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Sello Moirani. It gives me a very great pleasure to join this year again the opening of this meeting of the SADC-SARPCCO Police Chiefs. And these are the words of the Secretary General of Interpol. I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency H.E. Mr. Elias M. Mahosi for the invitation. Interpol looks forward to working closely with you to continue strengthening our cooperation and collaboration in line with revised SADC-Interpol Memorandum of Agreement. It's been a year since we gathered, and let me recognize the ramification that came through COVID. Unfortunately, the same continues to disturb police cooperation, but we are fortunate to meet in person this year to address cross-border crimes issues in the region of Southern Africa. As law enforcement leaders, we persevere and ensure the key decision to protect our respective citizens are taken timelessly. Allow me to take this opportunity to recognize the South African authorities, my authorities, under the leadership of the Minister of the Police and the stewardship of the National Commission of the South African Police Service, and the directors and the heads of divisions in South African Police Service, in cooperation with SADC and Interpol Regional Bureau for excellent coordination of this amazing event under testing circumstances. Our efforts to fight crime in this region are clear and successful. And I would like to commend you for continuing to support the NCBs, which are the pivotal and the gateway of international police cooperation. Interpol Regional Bureau in Harare has been marked with adversity too. They have not been spared from the pandemic. Since March 2021, Regional Bureau worked closely with the region to hold 49 virtual activities ranging from workshop, operational meetings, to NCB staff training. Over 1,040 law enforcement were participating and capacitated. Last year, Interpol and SADC embarked to develop a dedicated regional strategy against transnational organized crime with the support of Institute of Security Studies, ISS. More so importantly, given the changing criminal landscape, which was brought by the pandemic of COVID-19, efforts continued. And I would like to commend the coordinated operation between Interpol Regional Bureau and member countries of SADC, conducting an operation AFIA 2, which supported 13 SARPCCO member countries, addressing the impact of the pandemic, which ushered the production and the circulation of falsified medical products, among others. Intelligence gathered thus far in the region indicates that there is a serious emerging threat on cyberspace, where cyber-enabled frauds targeting the procurement of essential equipment and medical supplies, as well as citizens' concerns for the infection of the risk. In 2021, Interpol created an African Cybercrime Operation Desk under the AFJOC project that drives intelligence-led, coordinated action against cybercrime and targeting perpetrators in our region. In December 2021, Operation Falcon 2 was initiated to focus on organized crime groups known as Silver Terrier, which were responsible for various small business for business email comprising invoices and mass phishing campaigns. The primary threat on business email compromised and linked to the target network, but this network, including malware, ransom, trojans, and other cyber tactics and tools, and remote access to tools, have allowed these actors to penetrate, explore, and corrupt the networks around the world for financial gains. The operation that led to the creation of the Cybercrime Directorate and the extensive coordination by African Cybercrime Operation Desk and Cybercrime Coalition of member countries, including Australia, Canada, United States, and our gateway partners, private partners. The outcome of this operation resulted in 11 threat actors arrested, seizure of laptops and mobile phones that uncovered more than 50,000 targets and 800,000 potential victims' domain credential. In order to drive intelligence-led coordinated action against cybercrime, the perpetrators in African region and around the globe in the issue of cybercrime are now going to be targeted focusedly through the creation of Africa's Cybercrime Operation Desk, which will harmonize the regional coordination to produce joint action, conduct law enforcement activities, and all these things will strengthen the capability and the capacity of the region. We cannot ignore the continued pervasive issues of terrorism that are happening in the Southern Africa. In particular, there is a consensus that the Islamic State has identified sub-Saharan Africa as a next frontier for regrouping and rebirth. The rise of these self-claimed provinces, abbreviated as ISWAP, and Central Africa provinces, abbreviated as ISCAP, in parallel with Al-Shabaab, continued activities, obviously raising concern over potential spillovers into Southern Africa. Interpol Regional Bureau and the Counterterrorism Node for East and Southern Africa, based in Nairobi, are prepared to assist in this endeavor. This kind of cooperation will continue to foster what is needed to ensure that we work together, but it will also create capacity to deal with transnational organized crime and terrorism. As this meeting sets priorities for Southern African security and policing agenda, Interpol capabilities and regional presence will stand by the region. Interpol International Organization in Lyon proclaim and stand to provide assistance at all material times. Regional policing with the support of African Regional Policing Mechanism, AFRIPOL, it's very critical. As a regional police organization, AFRIPOL provides a framework for police cooperation at strategic, tactical, and operational level. Support program for African Union in relation to AFRIPOL ISPA will assist AFRIPOL and Regional Bureau and SADC to develop strategic frameworks and operational functions that will bring cohesion within the entire region. The structure rests on key elements, which is close collaboration between NCBs and AfriPol liaison officers, as well as regional bureaus and the SADC policing division. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also encourage you, more so the head of the NCBs through the Chief of Police, to ensure that the expansion of Interpol capabilities beyond NCB continues in the region. This will ensure that we create a safer border security, and we will nip the criminal or transnational organized crime elements in the bud. The African region comprises of 54 member countries. March 22, this what the statistics are saying. We constituted 1.1% of contribution into Interpol databases. Of course, it is appreciated because ranging from the previous year, it notes 22% increase with 0.9% recorded into Interpol database. However, we still want to encourage the region that in order to create a safer region, that the database and Interpol police capabilities are used for this reason. It is important to continue promoting this expansion and encourage participation of other law enforcement agencies that are outside the especially police setup to have access to this technology, and also to create interoperability of systems in order to ensure that access is at the fingertips of all those who are at the forefront of the battle against organized crime. And I also want to reiterate that the I-1 initiative, which was implemented to assist member countries to expand I-247, will continue. Funds are in the process of being arranged, and those member countries who were missed from this initiative, Interpol Regional Bureau with Interpol IPHG will coordinate the funding and the implementation of the expansion. I know that this meeting will deliberate on important issues and recommendations will be made. Those recommendations will assist to help Interpol, International Police Organization, to feature in the regional issues that have international importance. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for appointing, now they're talking about me, I still need to mention it's not me, that's the Secretary General. Allow me to extend the appreciation of the South African police authorities for appointing Mr. Sello Moerane, who took over the reins of head of regional bureau from Mr. Mubita Nawa. He comes with a wealth of experience, professionalism, and outstanding leadership on international police cooperation, and we believe he will usher regional bureau and the region into greater heights of policing. That is why Interpol continues to plan supporting the region, because we acknowledge the region for being consistent in appointing expertise that will assist the region to deal or to curb the scourge of organized crime. Chief of Police, ladies and gentlemen, let me encourage you that the upcoming Africa Regional Conference in Benin and the General Assembly to take place later this year in India, the General Secretary of Interpol is looking forward to meet the Chief of Police in person and to discuss issues of national and regional importance. It is under this word that I would like to thank you and wish you a very successful deliberation. Thank you, merci beaucoup, asante sana, ke a leboga.
Thank you very much, sir. I will now give an opportunity to the band and the choir to render us, for us one item. Over to you, band master and choir master. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will now call upon the Director of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Affairs of SADC Secretariat, Mr. Jorg Cardosa.
Distinguished guest of honor, the South African Minister of Police, General Mbekisele, honorable ministers here present, and I wish to recognize the Prime Minister and Minister of Police of the Kingdom of Eswatini, the Minister of Police of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the Special Envoy of Mozambique, Chairperson of SARPCCO, and the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, General Fanny Masemola, members of the organ, the Republic of Botswana as the outgoing chair, and the Republic of Namibia as the incoming chairperson of the organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation, representative of the Interpol Secretary General, Mr. Sel Morane, which is also our head of the Interpol Regional Bureau Harare, SADC's chiefs of police, heads of delegations, senior officials from SAPS, senior officers from SAPS, distinguished delegates, my fellow colleagues from the SADC Secretariat, as well as the Interpol Regional Bureau staff, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, a very good morning to all of you. On behalf of the Executive Secretary of SADC, I'm pleased to address you at this auspicious occasion of the 27th Annual General Meeting of the SADC Chiefs of Police Subcommittee, in short known as SARPCCO, which is a very instrumental structure of the Interstate Defense and Security Committee of the organ. It is indeed gratifying to note that we are having this physical engagement and also having an opportunity to interface for the first time since your last AGM meeting in Lusaka, Zambia in 2019. And this has been imposed by the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, which our region, but indeed the entire globe, has been facing since the end of 2019. And therefore, for the past 2 years, in 2020 and 2021, we were forced to meet virtually, and I can only feel a sense of gratification that we are able to finally convene physically at this meeting, constituting an extremely important opportunity for us collectively assess our concerted efforts in order to prevent and combat transnational organized crime, particularly at the regional level. But before that, allow me, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to first and foremost extend our profound gratitude and appreciation to our guest of honor, the Minister of Police, General Mbekisele, for gracing us with his presence at this important meeting, but for having had the wisdom of inviting some of his fellow colleagues from the region at this very auspicious occasion. It is indeed an honor, General Sir, to have you in our midst alongside your colleagues. I am therefore convinced that this meeting will immensely benefit from your leadership and orientation. In the same breath, let me also applaud the chairperson of SARPCCO and the National Commissioner of South African Police Service, General Fanny Masemola, for your recent appointment as the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, today marking your 61 days since you have been sworn in and appointed. Your guidance in steering regional efforts and interventions aimed at heightening and bolstering maintenance of law and order, peace, security, and stability is in our region is indeed appreciated. And Commissioner, rest assured of the SADC Secretariat and myself, unreserved support during your tenure. Thank you, Commissioner, for the excellent facilities provided to the Secretariat to be able to diligently service your meeting, and likewise, I wish to extend words of thanks to your dedicated and committed professionals which have been facilitating our work. By the same token, I wish to recognize and welcome the new Chiefs of Police of SARPCCO in our midst today. I wish to recognize particularly the commissioners of the Republic of Angola, the Republic of Malawi, and the Republic of Zambia. We wish to congratulate you and extend again our unreserved support in the prevention and the fight against transnational organized crime. Distinguished Chiefs of Police, let me commend the men and women in uniform, our police officers, for remaining steadfast in ensuring safety of the region's citizenry, notwithstanding the numerous operational challenges, including the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The world is digitalizing, and criminal syndicates are taking advantage of the advancement in technology as a launchpad for employing novel, sophisticated, and complicated modus operandi in the cyberspace, land, air, and maritime domains. Criminals no longer have regard and respect for our physical borders and are spawning their criminal activities across nations, regions, and internationally. This thus calls for us as a region to converge, collaborate, synergize, coordinate our efforts to fight transnational organized crime within a common vision, understanding, and trust. I am therefore pleased to highlight that the Ministerial Committee of the organ, at its virtual meeting of July 2021, approved and urged member states to implement the integrated strategy to prevent and combat transnational organized crime, as well as its implementation plan. This strategy aims to reinvigorate and operationalize a concerted regional framework in preventing and combating transnational, serious, and organized crimes, and to mitigate their impacts on the population and in the economy of the region. It focuses on promoting and strengthening national, regional, and regional resilience against transnational organized crime through a robust and effective rule of law framework, strong governance, based on democratic practices, inclusive and equitable policies, a strong culture of implementing guiding national, regional, and international instruments on matters related to organized crime. As your meeting today will assess progress of our operations, I'm delighted to inform you that SADC Secretariat, assisted by Interpol RB Harare, facilitated the implementation of an array of activities emanating from your last AGM. In doing so, we have collaborated with many of our traditional partners, such as the African Union and the UN specialized agencies. I'm not going to be too detailed, but just highlight a few, which I believe it's of importance for the honorable ministers and the guest of honor. First, was the review of the regional counterterrorism strategy and its action plan. It's no secret that our region is not immune to the drive of terrorism activities, of late manifesting itself in the sister country of the Republic of Mozambique, which entailed the region to take action by deploying a mission to the Cabo Delgado province. Therefore, the review of the regional counterterrorism strategy and action plan for the next 5 years, it's a very critical blueprint for the region to be able to fight this very existential threat. Secondly, we have also operationalized with the launch of the Regional Counterterrorism Center earlier this year in the United Republic of Tanzania. And this structure is going to be very instrumental in not only facilitating the implementation of the strategy and action plan which I've alluded to, but also support our national mechanisms, our national institutions in order for the region to effectively fight terrorism and implement the strategy. Another very important instrument which we have adopted and we are implementing is the integrated strategy to prevent and combat transnational organized crime. We'll likewise present a brief report in terms of how the region is faring in that regard. The development of the Train of Trainers module on small and light weapons investigators course integrated with IARMS system is also one of the specific activities which we have undertaken throughout the period of reporting. This is from your last AGM up to date. And lastly, the review of the transnational organized crime data collection tool for Southern Africa, which is also known as TOXA in short. So, Chairperson and distinguished guest of honor, I just wish to highlight some of the critical interventions or activities which we have carried out as a region under the guidance of the Chairperson of SARPCCO. And again, we will be presenting a detailed report during the meeting of the Chiefs of Police. Guest of honor, Chairperson, esteemed delegates, at this juncture, allow me to welcome our new head of Interpol, RB Harare, Mr. Selo Morane, from the Republic of South Africa. Mr. Selo Morane reported on duty in April 2022. We welcome you and your support endeavors as the head of the Interpol RB Harare. In the same vein, I would like to take this opportunity to inform this August committee that my tenure of the office as the director of the organ on politics, defense, and security affairs in the SADC Secretariat is coming to an end in November 2022. Inevitably, this is going to be my last ordinary meeting as your director of the organ. I want to extend my sincere gratitude to you for your unwavering support, guidance, and collaboration. I am therefore forever going to cherish and appreciate the time I spent as the director of the organ with your invaluable contributions towards the effective execution of my mandate, duties, and responsibilities. And I must also stress that I was not alone in that capacity. I was ably supported by my fellow colleagues in the SADC Secretariat. En ma qualité en tant que directeur de l'organe en charge des affaires politiques, défense et sécurité, je voudrais sincèrement vous remercier à tous pour votre guidance et sagesse pendant mon mandat. Quero, neste momento, igualmente, utilizar a minha língua de trabalho no Secretariado da SADC, português, para agradecer aos distintos comissários e chefes de polícia que, ao longo dos meus quase 8 anos de mandato no Secretariado da SADC, apoiaram, portanto, o nosso trabalho. Agradecer pelos vossos conselhos, pelas vossas diretrizes ao longo destes anos e dizer que estou imensamente grato por ter tido a oportunidade de desempenhar essa nobre e importante missão no seio da nossa organização, recordando que sem paz, sem segurança, sem estabilidade, a nossa comunidade, a nossa região não será capaz de cumprir com o seu desiderato, com o seu objetivo de se integrar economicamente, procurando desenvolver as economias dos nossos países num ambiente de paz e segurança. Portanto, quero singelamente agradecer a todos vós, os meus líderes, pelo todo o apoio e por todo carinho que me foi dedicado ao longo desses anos. Muito obrigada e termino aqui a minha intervenção com estas palavras. Muito obrigada. I hand over to you, Director of Ceremonies. Thank you so much.
Thank you to the Director. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now give an opportunity to our 3 ministers to have a few remarks for us. I will call upon the Minister of Eswatini to ascend the stage for his few remarks.
Honorable Minister of South African Police Services, General Peggy Cele, Minister of Police for the Republic of Zimbabwe, Special Envoy from the Republic of Mozambique, Head of Secretariat, SARPCCCO Chairperson, all Chief of Police in the SADC region here present, Head of Interpol Regional Bureau and SARPCCCO Coordinator, ladies and gentlemen, sanibingelela nonke bekunene. May I start by expressing our most profound gratitude and appreciation to the government of the Republic of South Africa for hosting this auspicious 27th Annual General Meeting of the SADC Chiefs of Police Subcommittee of the Interstate Defense and Security Committee, and for the hospitality extended to me and the delegation from the Kingdom of Eswatini. We are are grateful for this meeting, which has availed the opportunity for us to meet and discuss issues pertaining to the activities of SAPCO. The government of the Kingdom of Eswatini is committed to support all programs and SAPCO initiatives aimed at promoting peace and stability in the region. It is common cause that SAPCO has a structure of SADC was created for a very noble purpose, which is to counter the scourge of cross-border crime in the region through facilitating the cooperation and collaboration of police forces and police services in general. In this regard, on behalf of His Majesty's government and in my capacity as Minister of Police, I wish to pledge our continued support to SAPCO through ensuring that all resolutions adopted by the organization are implemented. Eswatini stands fast with all SADC member states in the call to create a safe and crime-free Southern African region. As a country, we will continue supporting inter alia training programs aimed at uplifting the standard of police professionalism across police forces in the region and joint operations. We also wish to pledge our support to the mission in Mozambique by contributing to the police component. As I conclude, may I state that the Kingdom of Eswatini remains eager to see the organization ascend to greater heights in terms of creating peace and stability for the socio-economic development of our region. I thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will now call upon the Special Envoy of the Minister from the Office of the Minister's Office of Mozambique.
Sua Excelência, Ministro da Polícia da República da África do Sul, respeitados membros da mesa da direção, digníssimos comandantes gerais das polícias da SADC, respeitados ministros aqui presentes, minhas senhoras, meus senhores, e todo o protocolo observado. Em nome da Ministra do Interior da República de Moçambique, a quem represento, queremos agradecer o convite que nos foi formulado para a nossa participação nos trabalhos desta 27ª sessão ordinária deste órgão. Agradecemos toda a hospitalidade que nos foi reservado desde a nossa chegada até agora. Excelências, a presença de todos nós aqui, de todos os dignatários dos países da SADC aqui presentes, testemunha o comprometimento dos nossos países, dos nossos povos, das nossas polícias pela causa da SADC. Testemunha o nosso comprometimento na luta contra a criminalidade, principalmente a criminalidade transnacional, Portanto, criminalidade organizada transnacional e o terrorismo na nossa região da SADC. Também testemunha o comprometimento de continuarmos a lutar pelo bem-estar dos nossos países e dos nossos povos. Excelência, levantei simplesmente para agradecer a oportunidade que nos foi dada também para cumprimentar os presentes, todos os presentes aqui, e para reafirmarmos o comprometimento de Moçambique na causa da SARPCCO e da SADC. Excelências, muito obrigado por tudo.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can we give him another round of applause? Ladies and gentlemen, can we now call upon Zimbabwe?
Thank you, our Director of Ceremonies. Let me start by recognizing our guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Police in the Republic of South Africa, General Bekingcele. Let me also recognize Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Honorable Sipho Dlamini. Yesterday I was being told by the guest of honor that everyone is called a Dlamini in that area. So every Dlamini is around. I'm sorry, Honorable Guest of Honor. I thought I could share with colleagues. The Special Envoy of the Republic of Mozambique, General Fernando Tsukana, the Interpol Secretary General, Dr. Jürgen Stock, and your delegation, Chiefs of Police here present, the SADC Director of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security, Dr. Yogi Cardoso, the head of Interpol Regional Bureau, Harare, SAPCO Coordination Office, Mr. Selo Morane, Directors of Criminal Investigations Department, Chairpersons of SAPCO, technical organs, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. And a very good morning to all of you. I would be very happy if we could respond. A very good morning to all of us. Thank you very much. It is with profound gratitude and honor that I make a few remarks at this auspicious occasion, the 27th SAPCO Annual General Meeting, which is being held face-to-face for the first time since 2019, as alluded to by colleagues. Needless to say, the Police Chiefs Annual General Meeting is of paramount importance since it avails the platform for generating decisions and strategies to heighten and enhance concerted efforts to prevent and combat transnational organized crime in the region. In light of this, we are grateful for this rare opportunity to grace this important event. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, allow me to sincerely thank the guest of honor, Minister of Police of the Republic of South Africa, General Cele, for inviting us to be part of this grand occasion. We are sincerely grateful. On the same note, let me commend the police chiefs for putting in place measures and strategies to ensure the safety and security of the region's citizenry. Indeed, the Regional Integration and Development Agenda is predicated on peace, security, and stability. Accordingly, the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan of the organ 2020-2030 is also underpinned on the availability of peace, security, and good governance. Furthermore, allow me to acknowledge the remarkable work being done by SADC Secretariat and Interpol RB Harare for the effective coordination of SAPCO programs and activities. The Zimbabwean government assures its continued support of SADC SAPCO programs through human and material resources to ensure that the region achieves its set goals. Guest of honor, chairperson, esteemed delegates, as alluded to earlier on, cases of transnational organized crime, such as cybercrime, terrorism, human trafficking, smuggling of migrants, motor vehicle crime, drug trafficking, just to mention but a few, are increasing at a shocking rate, not only in the region but globally. Undeniably, transnational organized crime have devastating consequences on national economies and the region's overarching agenda on peace, security, integration, and industrialization. And Zimbabwe is no exception to these challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, to make matters worse, the COVID-19 pandemic has also resulted in an increase on cybercrimes world over, as people are now spending more time on the cyberspace. We've seen an increase in hacking, online fraud, phishing, business email compromise, adverts on social media platforms where unsuspecting victims are trafficked to Middle East for modern-day slavery. This thus calls for us as a region to embrace technology on policing, as criminals are enhancing their heinous activities by abusing advances in technology. It is therefore my fervent hope and conviction that through meetings of this magnitude and thrust, sound and comprehensive strategies to combat crime are developed. Our presence today as SADC line ministers responsible for police bears testimony of the support that we have towards this noble cause. The commitment by police chiefs in the region to prevent and combat crime is highly commendable. You'll agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that fighting transnational organized crime requires us to cultivate and foster collaboration, coordination, and cooperation, given the transnational nature of emerging crimes. We are all aware that crimes have collapsed our national physical borders as they spawn their criminal activities across nations, thereby necessitating unity of purpose among law enforcement agents in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, going forward, let us pool our human and financial resources together in order for us to effectively combat crime. Sharing of criminal intelligence, relevant information, and expertise is of paramount importance. In this regard, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, asked me to assure you that the Zimbabwean government pledges its commitment and dedication to sharing information and best practices to ensure the region is safe from this vice. In conclusion, and Honorable Minister, Guest of Honor, I promise I'm really concluding, because you know politicians, when you hear them say in conclusion, you know they haven't started. Then you hear them say last but not least, then you know you're in trouble. Then they say finally. So we always find ways, but in this particular case, I'm indeed concluding, Honorable Guest. Let me thank you, Guest of Honor, Minister of Police, of the Republic of South Africa, General Nkwele, for this magnanimous gesture extended to us. We are so grateful, and we hope and trust that we will have more of these interactions where we'll discuss issues of mutual interest. I thank you. Merci beaucoup. Obrigado. Asante sana.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now call upon our guest of honor for the morning, our Minister of Police, Minister Becky Cele. Can we all rise?
May you all be seated. Mr. Kazembe, there are no free lunches. The price of you being here is that we all surrender our criminals. So there are no free lunches. Program Director, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Cleopas Sipho Dlamini, Minister of Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Minister Kazembe, Special Envoy from Mozambique, General Fernando Tuxcana, Chairperson of SARPCCO, our own National Commissioner of the Republic of South Africa, General Masimula, esteemed chiefs of police present and your delegations, SADC Director of the Organ of Politics, Defense and Security, Mr. Joge Cardoso, and the delegation, the head of the Interpol Regional Bureau Harare and SARPCCCO Coordination Office, Mr. Selo Morane, and the delegation, directors and criminal investigation departments, chairpersons of SARPCCCO technical organs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Morning to you all. Morning to you all. I guess the morning is good. Receive my safety and security greetings this morning on behalf of all brave policemen and women of all our SARPCCCO member countries who each day serve and protect our region with pride and dignity in carrying out the mandate of fighting transnational crime and its remnants. As Minister of Police, it is indeed a pleasure for me to address the 27th AGM of the Southern African Regional Police Chiefs Cooperation Organization, called SARPCCCO. This esteemed event hosting police ministers and police chiefs from the region comes 2 months since the South African Police Service experienced winds of change with the appointment of a new National Commissioner, General Fani Masimula. Of course, General Fani Masimula is no stranger to you all, as he has hit the ground running in his capacity as a country's police chief, but also as a chairperson of SARPCCCO in visiting the member countries last month. So it gives me great pleasure to address this meeting, which I am confident the rich and robust debates and deliberations will yield the desired results for a safer region that we all want to live in. Distinguished ministers and police chiefs, this year's SARPCCCO AGM demonstrates a progressive leadership in the high-ranking echelons of this august institution. The involvement of ministers as policymakers at this AGM is not only historic, but it is firm foundation of principle that must be supported by all of us. This involvement, by the way, is not a takeover. I was told that there was some butterflies in the stomach of the chiefs when they were told that the ministers would be here, and they wanted to know if it was not a takeover now. But they mean absolutely no. It's not a takeover, it's an enhancement. You remain chiefs, you are operational, we deal with police, we don't interfere. We might intervene, but not interfere. The involvement of ministers as policymakers at this is not only historic, as I've said. Working in silos will never produce fundamental change and progress. Hence, I support the African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So we're inviting you to go together. Indeed, the involvement of ministers as active participants in the SARPCCCO agenda creates a platform of massive growth in strategic matters of our business of policing, and this will further yield positive results. In fight against transnational crime, our brief deliberations last night at our welcoming dinner was another affirmation that we're on the right track. There was a little bit, chiefs, there was some bit of dinner last night. You were not there because I know you were busy plotting how to deal with the serious matters as you will be doing that today. Therefore, once again, we applaud this progressive decision under your leadership, outgoing SARPCCCO Chairperson General Masimula. We certainly hope that Namibia, as incoming Chairperson of SARPCCCO, will carry and support this decision for the benefit of the entire SADC region development and the new Namibia we trust. The fact that All ministers present here today will address this, as they have addressed this meeting, is another rich investment of combination of wealth of skills, knowledge and wisdom we all possess that will hugely benefit the future growth plan of the agenda of SARPCCO. Ladies and gentlemen, safer cities, communities, villages, safer towns, metros, provinces, countries and regions don't just happen. Safety and security takes time, commitment and dedication. STEM gas, simply put, safety is not a product but a process, and it does not come cheap. Let me not mince words when I say South African law enforcement remain ready and able to enforce and maintain the law within our borders. We as a country are also very committed to actively play our part to combat any form of criminal activities associated with our region. We are encouraged that this fight against transnational organized crime is not ours alone. Equally, encouraging is SARPCCO ambitions at improving policing relations between police chiefs of member states through various means, namely the facilitation of investigations, joint cross-border operations and capacity building, the harmonization of legislation and other policing activities in contributing to public order security in this region. I know this one is not very easy one because it involves the government across the member states. It is clear we have to walk the talk and speak in one voice. We as a regional nations are in this together, and we will combat drug and human trafficking syndicates, wildlife poaching, and maritime crimes, and all their manifestations together. We ought to also have our focus firmly set on minimizing cross-border vehicle theft, as well as the proliferation of arms that contribute to violence in our communities. These are just some of crimes from host of cross-border crimes that must and will be dealt with through this regional partnership. As South African law enforcement, we remain duly committed to our international and regional obligations aimed at combating lawlessness, whether at sea, land, or on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, criminal gangs are becoming highly sophisticated and dangerous. The cross-border crime trade has increasingly become more diverse and sophisticated. Criminal networks we are trying to take down enjoy unlimited deep pockets, which allow them to study our collective security vulnerabilities and lack of coordination and partnership. Remember that the budget of criminals has no auditor generals. They just do without looking back. They use this information to advance and to expand their criminal activities. This regional formation must change the game and let these criminals know that they are now playing by our rules. We can only change the game if we step up our intelligence as criminals are adopting new and complicated forms of operations. The harmonization of legislation should influence our counter operations and proactive programs, if indeed we want to effect change. The call is also on the expansion of Interpol policing capabilities beyond the National Central Bureau. The effective utilization of the Interpol policing capabilities is crucial to disseminate criminal data. This kind of information will equip and empower frontline officers at all ports of entry. The usage of Interpol database, which contain millions of information pieces, can be shared amongst law enforcement officials mandated to prevent and combat international crime. At the same time, political oversight is crucial to the success of this policy and partnership. Security ministers of the 16 member countries should monitor the commitments and coordination made by our respective police chiefs derived from SARPCCO annual general meeting. As a minister, all the South African ministers of police, I am calling on my regional counterparts in Angola, Botswana, DRC, Lesotho, Mauritius, Madagascar, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Eswatini, Seychelles, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, and Comoros to provide oversight guidance and work together to enhance the functioning of SARPCCO in order to address cross-border crimes and spreading rapid response in the region. Police Ministry in South Africa is again heartened and motivated that this meeting is looking at a very broad range of strategies and approaches to tackle these diverse crimes. Sharing of information and resources, the scrutinization of operational approaches and analysis of intelligence, as well as the monitoring and evaluation of threats and responses are some key aspects that we cannot neglect. These are the pillars that hold this regional network together and will define the outcome of the work of SARPCCO. As the chairpersonship exchanges hands and moves over from South Africa to Namibia, we wish them well in their new role. We will continue to lend our collective support as the country pursues the steering of SARPCCO ship towards the desired direction. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to end of my address, as Minister from Zimbabwe said, and I'm really ending. Allow me to end off my address by emphasizing the point that we all have no choice but to work swiftly, seamlessly, and with agility in our collective endeavors to ensure our region is not a playground for criminals or a place where illicit activities that go unabated. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. Can we give our Minister another round of applause, a warm one? Yes, indeed, I know it's a bit chilly here inside, but soon it will a bit warm up a bit afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the first session of our program, which was part of the ceremonial proceedings for the morning. What will happen now is that we are going to take a photo shoot at the back of the hall. The ushers will indicate where you are going to be taken to. And just because we need to put some order in place so that everything can run smooth, I also just want to make this quick announcement. After the photo shoot, it is expected all the delegates that was on the M floor will go again for a cup of coffee, and all the delegates that was on the 14th floor will also go for a cup of coffee, but that will happen only after our photo shoot. Our first group of photo shoot that will take place, it will be our 4 ministers that will go and take their seats. So I will call upon the ushers and the protocol office to please come and take our 4 ministers to the back of our photo shoot first. We'll just give them an opportunity to go to the back. As soon as they arrive at the back, the indication will be given to me from behind so that I can call upon the second group. Just the friendly request, we are still in our COVID period. We should maintain social distancing, keep wearing our mask, sanitize where possible, and when we talk to each other, can we keep our social distancing? I know that we are all excited that we have not seen each other in a very long time. It's in a long time last that we had the session, the AGM, so we are all excited, but please let us remain taking our COVID regulations in consideration. Can I have our other protocol officer just to come closer to the podium group? Following now will be the Troika Chiefs of Police, the Director of SADC, Head Interpol, that will join them. Just to have it clear, the second group, the ministers will be joined by the Troika Chiefs of Police, the Director of SADC, and the Head of Interpol, which means it is the podium group that must join the ministers in their photo shoot. In the meanwhile, I will ask all our police chiefs all the police chiefs, we can just hold them a little bit here so that we don't have a clutter of people at the back. Can I have an indication at the back if the following group must follow? Must I still wait? Okay. All right, our chiefs can follow the next group. Which means that is the third group now that's walking towards joining the photo shoot. Can I ask the fourth group to line up in the meanwhile? That will be the directors of CID. So the fourth group will be the police chiefs with the directors of CID and the ministers. They can just wait a little bit here until they give us the indication at the back. All right, our fourth group, you can continue to the photo shoot. They're ready for you, which is our directors of CID with the police chiefs. Group 5 will then be the police chiefs with the subs, DNCs, divisional commissioners, provincial commissioners. If we can please line them up. All provincial commissioners, divisional commissioners, can you please join? You will give us the indication at the back for the provincial commissioners and the divisional commissioners. You will give us indication. our group 5 is joining the police chiefs with the divisional commissioners, the DNCs, and provincial commissioners with the minister.